doubt you have lots of questions, and I've got a couple of slides that I need to share with you, but I suppose it's really important that you need to know a little bit about me. So I wish I looked like this now. So this is a picture of me back in 2005, 2006. And as you can see on the screen, I am the PE teacher, head of PE of at Wangels College. So I naturally have investment in sport, but I also oversee the community system. And so when you arrive in September, you will be assigned one of the trees, one of the communities. So that might be birch, hazel, lime, oak, maple or willow. And so what will happen is we will look at you as an individual and we'll try and match you up against your community. If you've got older brother and sisters already at the school, you can already work out which community that you're going to be in. If not, do not worry about it. So you may have noticed by the slight Midland twang that I'm from the Midlands, and that's why I support Coventry. Some of you that might enjoy football might like the idea of Chelsea or PSG or anything like that. Whereas for me, I'm a local boy, so a little bit of Coventry is really good. But also, as I get a little bit older, I go and play a lot of golf. I play golf to a decent standard as I'm no longer any good at football. And so one of the big things that you'll notice from me is that I'm quite enthusiastic. I'm nosy as well, like many a PE teacher, to find out what you are doing and what your hobbies are. So whilst I'm going through this presentation, you may have some questions that you might like to pose. We can do these both verbally. So if you want to obviously unmic and unmute and do that, that's not a problem. Or you can type questions into the Q&A box. That's not a problem. So the first thing is to make sure that you are Wangels ready and you understand the expectations. I think that's really important on the first day you get that right. It sort of sets the tone going forward. And no doubt, as much as we want you to have an amazing summer break, a well-deserved summer break, we want to make sure that you are fully prepped, ready for September. So if I steer your eyes towards the left-hand side of the screen, the big thing is to make sure that you are prepared to learn. I know that sounds really simple, but actually takes a lot of organisation behind the scenes. And as you guys make that step from year 6 to 7, it can't just be down to your parents or whoever looks after you. Maybe it's time that you take a bit of responsibility. So hopefully you can work out on what makes you prepared to learn. For me, it would be your PE kit, making sure that you've got that all sorted. And parents, you know as much as I am a parent myself, how long it can take for this equipment to arrive through the post, knowing that these companies work nationally and have lots of students in order to deliver uniform too. And then the simple things, pens, pencils, rubbers, rulers, those sort of things. And no doubt there's some personalised things that help you learn in the classroom and help you in terms of making sure that it's helping you into the best of your ability. That bit might be highlighters, that might be a separate notepad, anything that is easy for you to help remember the content and to be able to recall it the following lesson. You've got to make sure that you are really proud of your achievements, efforts and successes. Everyone has their own way of measuring what that looks like, and you've got to make sure that you give 100%. I wish I could be the next Messi and Ronaldo. It's not going to happen, but I do feel proud of the achievements that I've made. And so whatever it is, whether it's making a cake, whether that's doing some work for the scouts or guides, you need to make sure that you do something that you feel proud of. And if you can do those by being prepared and proud, then you can then become positive. And what I mean by that is because you feel reassured that you're doing stuff correctly because you've got yourself organised, then you can be that positive role model and that positive member, not only in the tutor group, but also as a member of the Wangels community. It's also big that you take respect for yourself and others and drive them to go. It's been amazing. Again, you may have older brothers or sisters that have been involved in the sports festivals. And it's been amazing to see the students taking part, working together in the tug of war. They're inspiring, they're encouraging, they are supporting each other. And it's really important that you have that mindset, no doubt like you already do, that if you see somebody struggling, that you help them out. There's going to be people, especially in the first week, that need help. They may feel lonely because their friend might be in another tutor group. They might feel lonely because they're in an environment that they're not used to. They might feel lonely because they're lost on their timetable. They're not sure which building to go to. Reassure them, support them, and encourage them to try and give their best. Try and build some resilience in there as well. Resilience is quite a big buzzword around Wangels, and especially in the PE department. We have to admit that just because you're taking a penalty doesn't mean you're always going to score. So what happens when you miss? How do you deal with the fact that you may fail? And how do you turn that negative into a positive and try and make you a better person? And then the final one is that take that responsibility, the way that you communicate with your members of staff, but also how you communicate with each other. So it's, instead of just talking to your friends as what, can't hear you, how about pardon, could you just repeat that, so on and so forth, like you normally do in your school at the moment. On the right hand side, and I do apologise that I've got my screen sort of in the way, so I'm going to see if I can move it. There we go. Okay, so you notice that you've got Mr. Reynolds, lovely picture of him on the right hand side as head of year. You of course got Mrs. Humber, who is the principal, Miss Street who is the assistant principal, and Mr. Johnson, who is the deputy head teacher. So we will have assemblies that would be led by Mr. Reynolds, and obviously things will go through me to Mr. Reynolds, and Mr. Reynolds will filter stuff down to me as a year 7 tutor. But one of the things that we'll try and make sure that we support you with is to make sure that your uniform is sorted. And hopefully you've already received one of these in your packs, so you will know exactly what you need to have in preparation for September. Of course, just a gentle reminder, make sure that if you haven't already done so, make sure that you've ordered the uniform with plenty of time. You may have noticed that we do not accept mobile phones. That's not to say that students are coming to school with mobile phones, but it's to make sure that students do not have mobile phones out during lesson times. We also need to make sure that mobile phones are not used in social times, and it's just a nice way from a safeguarding perspective and also from a disruptive free learning. I know I've moved on forward onto the first day, but whilst we're talking about uniform, it makes it relevant that I talk about the PE uniform very briefly. You will notice that in the information pack that you've received is that you have the compulsory items. Any other items that you wish to purchase, for example, the tracksuit bottoms or the zip tops, they are optional extras, and a number of our students do purchase them for lots of different reasons and they enjoy wearing them. But from a PE department, we say that they are optional extras. You don't need to purchase them. Now, one of the things that I would recommend is when you're doing stuff like football or rugby or hockey that all boys and girls will do, then you will need to wear the long blue socks. They're a compulsory item. However, for other activities, and I'll list them all just so you're aware, trampolining, badminton, netball, rounders, cricket, any other activity that doesn't require any protective shin guard to go down and protects obviously the shin, white socks that can be purchased anywhere. It doesn't have to be a certain brand, but longer is that they are a white sock above the ankle, they'll be absolutely fine. So hopefully that helps you out a little bit. I'm now going to just move on to the first day. So you guys are going to have an amazing summer and hopefully the warm weather will continue. So you will arrive on Monday, the 5th of September, which is really nice. And you will arrive at 8:40 and meet your tutor in the quad. The quad is the big open space in the middle of the community zones. So I will meet you there like you had for your transition day. And what will happen is that we'll give you obviously a big welcome. There'll be lots of smiles coming from me. And what will happen is that we will take you to your new tutor room and you'll also have an assembly in the main hall. So the main hall is where the gate is, where your parents or guardian dropped you off. It is the building on the right hand side. And of course, I'll help you out. That assembly would be a lovely welcome and introduction, and that would be led by the principal, Mrs. Humber, and also by the head of Year 7, Mr. Reynolds. We will then try and get used to, even though you was here for the transition day, to try and get a greater understanding of what the school is. So understand the roomings. So for example, 0 being ground floor, 1 being the upper floor, knowing which subjects are in certain zones. So there will be a treasure hunt, and that's just a fun way to try and get students to help understand their way around the school. Well, there will be issuing timetables and lockers. Uniform and equipment checks to make sure that that's sorted. Individual check with the new tutor. So what will happen is I will meet on a one-to-one just to go through any bits and pieces. It might be they're a little bit worried and concerned. It might be that the whole day is just sort of been a bit too overwhelming for them, and it's just my job just to try and reassure them. We'll also make sure that they can buy food, and hopefully it's going to be lovely healthy food, and so we'll get that all sorted out in the canteen, and then lots of icebreaker activities, which again would be similar to the ones that we did on the transition day, but just to try and understand for me what my tutees are all about. On the Tuesday, so the following day, arrive at 8:40. You would then make your way to the new tutor room because you know where it is, and that's where I'll issue out your timetables, planners and lockers. So that's where you'll be allocated your locker for the year. That's where we sort the code, so you know what it is. You'll be able to write them down, store them safely, and therefore that's where we can then start moving forward for the first term. We'll then bring in the Angels passport, so that's in regards to some of the activities that I've gone on before, and also relates to the pastoral curriculum. More icebreakers, and again individual check-ins. So that's just to make sure that everyone's happy with their timetable, happy with which class that they need to go to, and all those bits and pieces. And you will notice that on both days the school day will finish at 3 o'clock. All right, so on that Wednesday, also that Wednesday the 7th, the school day will officially start for these guys. So hopefully that reassures you. Hopefully it gives you a little bit of an idea. Now, in terms of that passport, here's the bits and pieces just to sort of share with you. So you can see it relates to our school values. You can see that it's a little project over the summer holidays, to say, in regards to our pastoral curriculum. So I'll just read this out in case your device is rather small. Is over the summer holiday, we would love you to complete some of the activities from our Angels passport. You can pick 1, 2, 3 or more. The choice is yours. Whilst the project is due on Friday the 9th of September, we would love you to start bringing in your work so it can be displayed in your tutor rooms on the 1st and 2nd days. This is an optional extra, so you don't have to do it. All entries will be put into a raffle to win prizes. Okay, so you can see the bits and pieces here. So challenge yourself. So what sort of things can you do? So you got there like pride, climb a mountain, learn a dance move, learn a skill, resilience, play a new sport or game, try a new type of food, kindness, carry out a random act of kindness, ask a grown-up how their day was and listen to their answer, decorate a Wokenham rock, respect, tidy your room, send a thank you card to someone that has helped you, so on and so forth. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea about that. So hopefully that helps you. Hopefully parents, that reassures you on how the first couple of days are going to go. I understand that the build up to that is going to be big. I remember my first day at school. I'll never forget it. And it's really important that it's a positive experience, that transition from their small primary school to a big secondary school is going to be a really nice positive step into their secondary school education. So without any further ado, does anyone have any questions?
Mr. Quartermain, have you if you come out of your presentation, are you able to see the live event Q&A on the side?
I'm just coming out of it now, Mr. Reynolds, and I'm just going into the Q&A onto the right-hand side.
You've got a couple of questions there, all right.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. So, do you teach dance? Can the children take dance as a GCSE? So in terms of dance, we have a dance club, and that will happen once to twice a week. We don't explicitly teach it within our curriculum and PE, but there's aspects of the performing arts department, so the drama department, who delivers the dance aspects of that. So hopefully that helps you out with that one. If you can give me a sort of thumbs up, or if that answers your question on that one. Will the children be with their tutor group for their lessons? Can you explain how the group children for lessons? So the work that has gone into place regarding that is all down to the work of Mrs. Krang and Mr. Reynolds, in terms of, if you can imagine, all the feeder schools that come in. And what we do then is we put the groups all together into their classes, and we try and make them what we call equal and fair as possible. So that's the way that we do it. So there may be a small chance that you may have one or two people from your tutor group in a particular lesson, but it might not be in all of them. Again, give me a message just to say if that answers your question. Okay. Is there a boxing club? No, not at the moment, but the department are currently getting trained in boxercise. So it's not boxing in its rawest form, but it is using the fitness component of boxing. We deliver Key Stage 3 fitness. We deliver not only fitness in our PE lessons in terms of health and nutrition, so fitness and health, but we also have Key Stage 3 fitness as one of our after-school clubs. Just in case someone is typing up any further questions, one of the things in regards to the clubs is it's really important that students sort of, in a way, buy into the enrichment that Wangels offers. You may have taken part in a club out after school. No doubt your son or daughter has taken part in clubs, whatever those clubs are, currently in their junior school. And I would say over the years of delivering clubs, I think it's important that students really have the opportunity to not only sort of take part in the club, but also to build their social circles, especially with those that with particular interest, whether that might be in arts and crafts, whether that be a netball club, whether that would be in rugby, whatever it might be. If there's a club that they feel really interested in, they should really do that. And I think that's a really nice way. We see it in the department, and I think that would be a really good opportunity to really embrace and take forward. So we are all in the I'm just going to double check on that one. I'm just going to hold fire on 2 seconds just regarding the Waynes and the...
I can tell you that the tutor groups are a mixture of both.
Super. Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. So if there's no more questions, can I just say a big thank you for taking the time to listen to me this afternoon. Hopefully it's been worthwhile. I hope your son or daughter really enjoys their summer holiday, and I hope that they look forward to coming to Wangels in September. I'm really looking forward to welcoming my tutor group. We're going to have an absolute blast. So yeah, I'm going to be counting those days, as daft as it sounds. So I hope you have a fantastic summer, and thank you ever so much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Mr. Quartermain, and thank you very much, everybody, for coming to join us this afternoon. Let me just echo what Mr. Quartermain said. We're really looking forward to welcoming you to Wangels in September. So do have a lovely summer, and we'll see you soon.